Hey you guys, thanks for joining me today. So today's video is going to be a part of a Christmas YouTube hop. Make sure you check out the links down below and leave a comment for a chance to win a couple of gift cards. There will be two up for grabs, one $25 gift card to a choice of, a store that you wish, and then a $25 gift card for Lindy's store. And if you're watching my video, if you subscribe, you will be put in for a drawing for a giveaway that I'm going to have, which I'll show at the end. Now, this is the card that I did last year using the same sketch, the Mojo Monday sketch that you first saw. And there was a lot of things that I liked about it, but I wanted to step it up. So I used the Delicata gold and silver to create this year's card. And instead of doing the swirly Christmas tree, I did the solid one, because with the Delicatas, it's a strong ink or a strong image, but it's also very subtle. So it's subtle enough that we're able to stamp the words on top of it and have it stand out from the silver and the gold. Okay, so we're just going to stamp this. I'm showing you here on the silver. We're going to be stamping, I think I did 3 of those, 3 silvers, and the rest I did were gold, or I'm sorry, it's 4 gold and 4 silver. Alright, and with using the Misty, it allows you to do all of the, multiple stamping, especially when you're doing a bulk number of cards. I really suggest that you get something like that. If you don't have the Misty, Tim Holtz has his stamp platform. Anything that you can use that will allow you to keep it in the same spot and just stamp over and over and over again, which really helps when it comes to doing a large number of stamps like this, or cards like this, excuse me. Alright, so for the main image on top, I'm pulling out an oldie but goodie. This is the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. I know if you've been crafting a while, most people probably have this. It works really well for cling stamps to allow you to line it exactly where you want it on your paper, and then using the green handle part, it'll allow you to stamp it in the exact spot that you're lining it up. So we line it up here, re-ink our stamp, and then it's going to move slightly, and you'll see me readjust it because it moved out of the way. Yep, so I gotta line it back up, because you want to make sure the green stays in its spot, the green tool, and then when you lift it up, you have perfect placement from where you put down your stamp. And then we're just going to heat that up using the clear embossing powder, because I like how with VersaFine Black Onyx, when you heat it up with the clear embossing powder, it gives it just a raised feeling, which gives it an elevated feel. That's one of the things I love about embossing on your cards. It just it feels like it takes it up a level. So I wanted to zoom in a little bit closer so you guys could really see how the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig, the clear piece, is lining up exactly where I want the Silent Night to go. And then once I line it up and stamp it down, I stamp exactly where that piece was. And then we cover it with the clear embossing powder and heat it up. Alright, and then a lot of this process for all the cards I did off camera, but I am going to share doing one of them with you on camera. So I'm just going to zoom out here once we get everything lined up. So I did the title embossed, and then of course the sentiment itself, the large focal piece. Now all the pieces I have cut out circles, 4 circles in each of the sizes that I needed, and then just cut them in half. Same thing with the doily, just cut it in half, and then I'm going to take the Prima distress tool and some distress ink, and we're going to distress and then go around the edge with the tea dye stain. And then I'm just using the side part of the embossing or the distress tool just to give the edges some texture and just add another layer to the card itself. And I slowed this section down just so that you can really see it in kind of real time. I want to say it's still 2 times the speed that I actually did it in, but it's slower than what the first half of the video was. So I figured, you know, it would be nice, because sometimes on this part when it goes too fast, you miss all the work that, you know, goes into putting something together. Okay, so once we go around, I'm going to do that to all the edges. And then once you see how you got all that interest around the four sides, once we do all the distressing, then we'll do all of the inking. And that's really one of the keys with bulk creating, like when you're doing a large number of cards or whatever it is you're making, is to do each step at the same time. So if you're going to distress, then distress everything at once. If you're going to ink all the edges, then you ink all the edges at one time. So that way when you're done, you are complete with all of your projects. Alright, so now I'm going to grab that distress ink. And on the half circles, you just have to go around the semicircle, not where you cut it straight. You don't have to worry about that because nobody's going to see it. And this piece, you're going to go around all four edges. And I like the tea dye because it's a more subtle color. If you want it to be a little bit darker, then I would just go with like Vintage Photo, or I think there's the walnut stain. I always grab the tea dye because to me that looks, I don't know why, it's more vintage to me because it's soft and it's subtle. Alright, we're just inking up. Even the white pages, the doily, I'm going to put a little bit of the tea dye around it. I just want it, when you look at it, to look like it's maybe been aged all over. So I didn't want anything to be crisp and perfect. Alright, so we're just going to go around the doily here, like I said. Alright. And then around all the accent pieces. And that really helps. What it does mostly is not like it's changing the way it looks drastically, but what it also does is it covers up that stark white edge on some of the papers, so that way it gives it a more finished and complete look. Alright, and then once we go all the way around, we're going to keep that there in case we missed anything, but we're going to go ahead and start putting everything together. And what I do first is work on the semicircle, the half circle. I want to make sure I got everything laying down correctly, and then we're just going to start doing our layers, which is the pattern paper first on top of the largest circle. Then we're going to use the ATG tape and put down the doily. And I didn't put it on the outside of the doily because I still want that edge to kind of be able to move or ruffle up. So I just did it right in the center. Okay, the next we're going to put our white layer. And that's going to help secure down some of the doily as well. And then our last brown circle right in the middle. Alright, and then once we get this set up, to making sure as I'm putting it down, you can see like some pieces are going one way. I'm doing that because I just want to make sure that my circle is completely even, because on the inside where that straight line is, no one's going to see it, so I don't care if it's crooked or whatever, because there's going to be a piece of paper that goes over that. Alright, now we're going to attach our focal piece. And this one, because I only did it with an 1/8 of an inch border, it makes it so that it's just a little bit of that brown sticking out with the distress. It's very pretty. And it's, you know, makes it very subtle. So for the card itself, I cut a sheet of paper 10 by 7 and then folded it at 5, making a 5 by 7 card. And then using the bone folder, making sure to get a nice, you know, crease on it. And then I took the dye ink and just went all the way around that edge too. Like I said, I wanted everything to tie in together. Even on the crease, I even went along there, because I wanted to have a nice frame around the whole thing. Because really, there's a lot of white on this card, and by doing that distress ink and the splatters we're going to do in a little bit, it's going to really give the card a nice look altogether. And I'm using my grid mat here to line up the semicircle, so that way I can make sure it's as straight, as I can. And then once again, use on this one, because of the thickness of our half circle, I am putting some foam tape at the top and the bottom, and then I'm using the ATG tape in the center. And you might want to, keep that in mind whenever you're doing something that has thickness. If there's sections where you don't need foam tape on the parts where it's hanging off, or it's an opportunity for the paper to possibly rip or anything like that, you may want to consider using foam tape. And once I get that lined up, we're going to go ahead and press that down. And then I'm going to line up the focal image, making sure it's laying exactly where I want it on the card. And then I'm going to take the foam tape and put it on the back of that as well. And I'm putting that on both sides because I wanted more height on this one all around. Because remember, we want this one to stand up. And on using to take the backing off, I'm using the little handy piercing tool that a lot of people call like the everything tool, because it does help with a lot of stuff. But I especially like to use it to take off the backing off of score tape and off of the foam tape that I'm using. Okay, so now that we got that laid down, I basically know where I want to put my title, but before I put that on top, there's this silver leaf that I wanted to put down that's going to go with my flower, and I just took a little piece of the foam tape and put it underneath that, and then I'm going to attach it, to the card front there. And now we're going to trim down the sentiment, which is just Merry Christmas. That's been embossed in super fine silver embossing powder. And on the one end, I'm going to make that banner. Doing a little banner edge. And I'm just using the new Tim Holtz snips. I really love them. They're nice and small, and they can get, they're very easy to use to make those little banner ends. And then we're just going to go around all four sides with the tea dye on that one as well. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do tape on each end, and this tape I'm going to double up. And I'm doubling it up only because there's that height of the sentiment or the main image in the front, and then also part of it is hitting where the half circle is. So I wanted to make sure that it makes it as even as possible. And then once we get it in the right spot, I just press it down. Now I'm going to grab a pink Prima flower, and let me tell you, if you have a chance to get Prima flowers, they are amazing. I really do enjoy them, and they're so pretty, so pretty. And by using the wet glue here, it really allows time for me to be able to move it around and make sure that the image doesn't get covered up. And really and truly, the card right here, it could be complete. If you're someone who doesn't like a whole lot of extra stuff as far as like the splatters we're gonna do, or even sequins and stuff like that, then you could end the card right here. It's very pretty, it's very subtle, and it makes for a very nice Christmas card. But I can't stop here. If I'm not doing sequins or I'm not doing Nuvo drops, you best believe I'm doing some splatter. So for this card, I wanted to do some in the color to match and some gold. So I grabbed the Prima bloom sprays for the pink ones, and for the green ones that I did, I grabbed the Prima metallic paints, and they had the perfect shade. The one right in the middle between the blue and like almost a green color right there that I'm wetting up with the distress sprayer. Perfect. I just put water in there, got the color moving, and then added it to a clear block, and then I'm just going to use the brush to flick on the color. And I don't overstress it. I don't worry about it. I just do it, because if you stress about it, it's not going to turn out right and you're going to hate it. Okay? Just don't worry about it. Go for it. Okay? If you are scared, then just get you a scrap piece of paper, put some of the color on it, and flick it and see how it's going to lay down. That way you can, you know, kind of gauge what you want to do. I've been doing this now probably most of this year, adding more splatters to different projects, so I'm very comfortable and don't mind when I get a couple of big spots. I like the variation, but I like using the block because it gives me a little bit more control. So that's my little bit of advice for you. Now with the color bloom sprays, sometimes I have a heavy hand and I spray too much. So I decided to spray a little bit on the block and then just flick with the brush straight from the block. And that worked best for me. It allowed me to control it better. If you're good at using the sprayer, you know, like spraying it a little bit or spraying it harder so that you get more of a mist, you have at it. But for me, it works better this way. So just spraying it on the block and then splattering it. And we just wound up doing that with all of the cards, all the remaining cards. So I'm going to let that go here. And then we're also going to do the splatters with the gold that I have sitting to the right. That's from the Gonzai Tombi Starry Nights. I think it's Starry Colors. Those, if you get a chance to get that pack of golds, you really can't go wrong with that one, because it has like a red gold, blue gold, white gold. There's so many different golds in that package, and it really can go with any project. So I'm just cleaning up the cubby real quick, and then we're going to do the gold splatter with all of them. So we're going to wet that up real quick. I was going to use the white. I have a shimmery white, but I was like, no, I'd rather do gold. And it didn't matter to me if the flowers were silver or, you know, I had stamped in silver. I really liked the metallic gold on all of the cards because I felt like it really brought out the colors and was a nice way to finish off the card. And we're just gonna keep going. And if your paint starts to dry out, just take your sprayer, spritz some more water in there, get it moving around, and you just keep going. You know what I mean? It just, I find this part to be so relaxing because I know, one, that it's practically done. Like, the card is finished. All I have to do is really let it dry, let the little splatter inks dry, and it's complete. And I'm very happy. There is something about this sketch that I really, really dig, and I will probably be using this sketch forever. So thank you, Mojo Monday, for creating this sketch, because I love it. Alright, so I think, I'm not sure if this is my last one or not, but I was thinking, I did tell you I was doing a 5x7 card. If you were to do this on a standard A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just take your dies, your circle dies, and I would just cut out like each of the sizes and measure them on the card to see which one's going to hold the shape better. But you can do this sketch on an A2 size card, and I may do that for the next one if I do this one again, just to show you guys another variation. But I think they came out really so pretty. And those on the left hand side there, those are the starry golds before I put the card on top of it. Alright, here we go. So this is my giveaway. It's separate from the gift cards, but you have to be a subscriber and make sure you leave a comment down below. You're going to get this chipboard scrapbook, the 8x8 paper pack, the 1/4-inch score tape, and this Kaiser Craft ink cube, and a spray. Okay, this is going to be my giveaway for you guys watching all the videos, and make sure you leave kind comments on everybody's. I mean, these ladies are so cool, and I'm just so excited that they even allowed me to be a part of this blog hop. Okay, as you see the video, you know, the pictures here, you can see a lot of the splatters and the different textures, and I liked showing side by side here the original card and this year's card. I might have to do this one every year so that way we can see how it evolves and how it gets different. That would be kind of cool. Alright, so make sure you guys visit all the videos, and don't forget to leave a comment in order to be in the drawing for the $25 gift cards, okay? And here at the end, I'm going to show you again my giveaway. Just make sure, like I said, that you're a subscriber and you comment. Thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great day.